Today I want to talk about a principle that's vital if we're ever going to fix online media. Standards matter more than status. The government wants to privilege legacy broadcasters on social media video platforms, but YouTube wants to preserve its existing recommendation system. Neither asks the most important question: what standards should determine who gets promoted? The government is running a public consultation called Watch This Space, a new strategic direction for UK media. Gosh. Its proposals include mandatory changes to how content is discovered on platforms like YouTube. This could direct audiences away from channels run by individuals or groups like you, in order to privilege legacy news providers like the BBC, ITV, Sky, and so on. I certainly see no reason to elevate any so-called mainstream news provider above those of us who write news and news commentary on a self-employed basis, after the way such providers have let the rest of us down over the last years and indeed decades. The government is trying to buoy up these trusted providers to give them an advantage over fake news as pushed by populists and right-wing propagandists. But established institutional news outlets declined because members of the public lost faith in their reliability. People migrated elsewhere because they increasingly believed established institutions omit, distort, moralize, or selectively frame reality. I'm willing to bet you can think of examples where institutional narratives collapsed off the top of your head. Here are some that I've covered: the Iraq War, Hillsborough, the Post Office Horizon scandal, and grooming gang failures. In each case, people who questioned the prevailing narratives were initially branded irresponsible, conspiratorial, or harmful purveyors of fake news. That memory now shapes public behavior. We have all learned that just because our institutions want us to believe something, that doesn't mean it is true. So it would be more accurate to say that the old institutions and authorities did the damage themselves, destroying public trust in them by themselves supporting fake news. That gives us no reason to support the government's plan to put the BBC and all the other usual suspects on a pedestal. They simply don't deserve that kind of reverence. Then again, I don't support YouTube's view either. As a social media platform, YouTube uses algorithms to prioritize video clips in users' feeds, buoying its own preferred providers up while pushing less favored content creators down. Isn't that exactly what the government wants to do, but with different choices of trusted providers? The logical answer is to adopt evidence-based standards and promote creators based on the amount of evidence they provide to support what they are saying. My argument would be that discoverability should not be based on institutional status, but on transparent standards of accuracy and evidence, and that the latter would better serve both independent journalism and the public interest. The government's proposal does nothing to answer that assertion. It is as though its authors have not considered it, even for a moment, or as though they have deliberately ignored it. A strong response to both YouTube and the government would demand platform-neutral standards that promote transparency, evidence, clear labeling of opinion versus reporting, and meaningful accountability for demonstrably false content, applied equally to public service broadcasters, independent creators, and social media users alike. That position is principled, consistent with my own experience as an independent publisher, and directly addresses the underlying problem, rather than merely shifting advantage from one group of gatekeepers to another.